Hi, my name is Joonghan.
And my name is Namgoong.
We are here with Design Milk for DMTV Milkshake. Thank you so much for inviting us today. We are Studio.Oong. We are artist and designer duo based in Queens, New York, and we make one-of-a-kind furniture and lighting. Right now, we are inspired by fantasy and its positive value. So we make something like this. Okay, we have this beautiful Korean traditional moon jar made by our dear friend Joanne Sungwon Lee. And there are questions inside, and we're gonna pick and try to answer them. Ready?
Yeah. Okay, first question. Korean culture is dominating worldwide from Blackpink and BTS to Squid Game. Is there a perspective, aesthetic, or frame of reference that links all this work and yours? Do you see a Korean point of reference in all of them?
Wow. BTS, Blackpink, Squid Game, with mentioning with our work, it's such a great honor.
Yeah.
Do you want to answer this question? Because you like K-pop more than I do.
Yeah, this is very difficult and sensitive question. But I will try my best to answer, but my response will be limited and subjective. I think it is connected to resistance and resilience. South Korea has been rapidly changed economically, culturally, and politically since Korean Wars 1950. Because of that, the ideas also rapidly change from non-industrialized patriarchy society, which is our grandparents' generation, to economic boost under the dictatorship in my parents' generation, and to our generation, which is democratic, more individual oriented, and culturally accepting. So Korea was a place where new ideas and old ideas have been constantly colliding. It became a culture that we resist to the bad ideas and suggesting better ideas that recovers broken parts of our society. BTS and Blackpink always emphasize to be yourself, embrace, and love who you are. I think that is a counter-reactions to groupism and extremely competitive, pressurized society. Individuals tend to become less significant and easily judged by society. What do you think?
Yeah, I think I agree. Korean society is very it's very intense, and when I think about the entertainment field, um, right now it becomes so much better, but it used to be um, they extremely focus on how they look, um, and basically you have to be really pretty and or handsome to be a successful celebrity, and that kind of idea gets into the general public's perspective, and that's you know that was not really good because a lot of people were thinking they're not they're not good enough or they're not pretty enough. So yeah, I think in that perspective that's very um, yeah, I think that's right. And in terms of Squid Game, actually not just Squid Game, but also the movie Parasite, I think they're both talking about the same thing, which is extreme polarization of economy. I believe that's happening everywhere in the world, but in Korea, it's getting really worse. To me, that TV show and the movie is almost screaming that look at this, like look at where we are, and this is our real problem, and it's almost hopeless. So what are we gonna do about it? So that's, I think that's the idea behind those two movies. And our work has a positive kind of fantasy like vibe, but it is actually our counter reaction to like dystopian world. Right, you both have mixed craft practice with fine art. How do you determine what is what? What is art and what is collectible design? It's really difficult to define what is art and what is design and what is craft. No, we call our work collectible design, but it could be also functional art. And they are not a conventional form of fine art, design, or craft. And for example, traditional design, which is industrial design or product design, they directly respond to the user and the market with super rational problem solving kind of approach. And fine art, it focuses more on creating aesthetic value and culture. What we're trying to do is we make functional object that is not entirely user-centric, and it's not really a result of rational process. Instead, we are trying to have one foot in an artistic context, which is creating aesthetic value and culture. And of course, we have a craftsman background, so crafts kind of like naturally involves in our process. Especially, we're making one of a kind, basically sculpted objects. So craft is really heavy in that. So in our very subjective perspective, collectible design or functional art is something in between fine art, design, and craft.
Yeah. What do you mean when you say your work fits between fantasy and reality? I think fantasy has mystical and magical features. It is worlds that human created, and fantasy world looks alike our world, but it is more hopeful. I think fantasy don't really exist in our reality, but the joy, hope, and positive energy from fantasy do exist. So we are trying to bring those aspects to our work. The form we make are inspired by our own nature, then we abstract them and make them somewhat familiar and unfamiliar at the same time, like fantasy world. And there are so much pain in our society, and we believe every single smile is important, and that is why we are making the object, hoping they would be a transmitter that connects fantasy and reality. I think that's it for us. Thank you so much, and if you guys are curious of our work, visit our Instagram and our website, and feel free to email us. Thank you.
Thank you so much for spending time with us.
Bye.
Bye.